Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first episode of The Lethal Library. I'm Stephanie,
I'm Dani.
and we are here to talk to you about some crazy cases. So, we focus on true crime, especially death row cases in the Pacific Northwest. You're going to hear a lot of factual data that's found in newspaper articles or other verifiable sources. You're also going to hear swearing, sarcasm, some dark humor, and a lot of just pointing out how stupid some of these criminals were at the time. So, Dani's going to kind of summarize our first case and what we are looking at.
Today I'm going to be telling you about Thomas Eugene Creech. This is a man who has been acquitted of murder, goes on to get a death sentence, gets off the death sentence, and then back to the death sentence again. You would think if you'd gotten off having a death sentence, you'd figure out, okay,
Maybe I'll chill.
let's chill. Let's chill with the murdering.
Not the case.
Not the case with this guy. Thomas Eugene Creech was born September 9th, 1950 in Hamilton, Idaho. He's always claimed he had a rough childhood, and some of his issues could be attributed to a cerebral concussion that occurred when he was pushed into a cement floor at 5. When he was 9, Creech witnessed his aunt attempt to kill his pregnant mother in an argument on Christmas Day. When the baby was born, the baby boy died from complications of the beating. So this was a long, wasn't like, oh, my aunt's got in a fight. My brother died because my aunt and my mother were in a fight. How horrible.
Yeah, I've had family drama on holidays, but nothing nearly as
And I'm not,
excessive.
you feel bad for him as a child having
Yeah.
to witness this. But later, no. He claims at age 10 his father beat him after he was involved in a fight at school. He stated that he got in trouble for not fighting when he was younger, and he was whipped a lot, and his father was abusive to his entire family. Despite this, he claims he was close with his father. And while in prison, his father came to visit him, and his father actually died in his arms while he was visiting him in 1970. On December 11th, 1969, Creech was sentenced to a 2 to 50-year prison term for unarmed robbery and was later paroled in 1971. That's a 2 to 50.
Quite the range on that one.
I don't even know how that's.
2 to 50.
Might as well be 2 to life. I mean, anyway.
Quite a gamble.
He was later paroled in 71. During his time in prison, he spent a year in a mental hospital and was diagnosed with antisocial disorder. In 1973, Creech was classified as a parole jumper. So he got out of prison. He obviously did not do 50 years. Looks like he was on the lower end of that. So after he got out, he was classified as a parole jumper. 2 months later, on October 23rd, 1973, Creech murdered 70-year-old Paul Schrader in his Tucson, Arizona motel room. Creech and his wife, Thomasine, were living at the hotel at the time. They conveniently left the hotel the same day without paying their bill.
Oopsie. Not suspicious at all.
The day that Paul was found dead. Paul was found with 11 stab wounds and his throat was slashed. Paul Schrader was from Michigan and was retired from General Motors. He and his wife were in Tucson for only a month before the murderer. So they're out there retiring, vacationing, getting some sun.
Snowbird.
So sad.
That's a brutal murder, too. Stabbed 11 times.
11, and then just for good measure, the throat. When Paul Schrader's truck was recovered, missing items like stolen traveler's checks and credit cards were found. Creech had used Schrader's credit cards and vehicle to move to Portland. Creech was found when he was arrested in Salt Lake City, New Year's Eve, for disturbing the peace. Got to keep a low profile.
See, I wouldn't be disturbing anyone's peace. I would be minding my business.
With a stolen truck and traveler's checks and
and skipping out on your hotel, like, you're probably prime suspect. They're like, well, these guys didn't pay and I tailed it out of here.
Maybe have a few beers and shut off the lights at 10.
Yeah.
You go with the East Coast, New Year's Eve, 10 o'clock. You're good. You can watch the ball drop and go to bed.
Not causing any disturbances with anyone around me.
Creech was transferred back to Tucson, where he was tried for the murder of Paul Schrader. In February 1974, Creech was on trial. The prosecution had the jailhouse snitch, David Lee Holtkamp, that testified in pretrial he had heard Creech confess to the murder while they were in jail together. He was subpoenaed for the trial but escaped the South Tucson jail during the trial and was unable to be located. How do you lose your witness like that that's in prison? How do you lose? It's the 70s.
It can be anyone in the 70s.
There's a lot of escaping and escaped.
Dye your
attempts.
mustache, put on a slightly different type of outfit, and start talking with an accent. You're essentially James Bond at that point.
I just don't. It blows my mind. But on March 6, 1974, Creech was acquitted for Paul's murder. So, yeah.
He was acquitted for Paul.
And they lost their number one witness.
Their number one witness is gone, and none of the other. This is way before DNA.
Kind of seems way before common sense.
Yeah, they're like, if there isn't someone with a Polaroid photo or Polaroid photos.
What are they holding a knife to his neck?
If you didn't
You
tell
didn't do
the
it.
hotel staff that, hey, a guy,
You're
how
getting
are we
off.
supposed to do anything with that? Funny. Not funny, but interesting, the criminal justice system.
There's going to be some interesting.
Very interesting things happening.
Yeah, I'm like, this is why they couldn't find these big notorious serial killers, in the 70s and 80s and 90s.
Because it was a free-for-all, easy peasy, because no one was keeping track of anything at any time.
No, they really
Wasn't a way
weren't.
to do it.
They really weren't. So back in Portland after his acquittal, Creech broke his parole from the 1969 conviction by stealing 13 cartons of cigarettes.
13 cartons. Why are you
I'm gonna
stealing?
I'm going to party on New Year's Eve, and I'm also going to steal cigarettes to break my parole. But the charges were dropped by the Ohio Parole Board after Creech slit his wrist while in jail, cried for help, and was sent to the Oregon State Hospital. So, and I don't take that lightly,
Not
but
a
you're
bad
going to
place.
see a pattern with this guy that is going to explain why I'm saying this. He is just back and forth, and there's a lot of attention-seeking things that he does throughout his time. The hospital stated Creech would be confined for such a long period of time that they didn't need to even worry about this parole
So they're like,
violation.
he's a head case.
He's
going
going to be in here for a hot minute.
a long time.
Don't even worry about this because he's just going to be here. He's so severely mentally ill.
So they're like, hey, judicially, don't worry about it.
Right, we got him. You ready to
What are
hear
you
how they
talking
got
about?
him?
Tell me.
Let me just tell you.
That's never good.
He was committed to an Oregon State Hospital a few times between April 9th and June 20th, 1974. It's like 2.5 months. Don't worry, Ohio. We got this guy.
Little vacay.
We got
This
this guy.
guy's never going to be on the streets again. We got this.
He was admitted on April 9th for 10 days. And then again on May 24th. So he wasn't even in there the whole
So
time.
he had a brief.
He had a 10-day
minute
stint. They
there?
said,
Go. You need a break. Like, maybe go rob like a daycare or something. Go mug one person. That's it. You can mug one person, but not violently.
Steph.
Get and then check back in.
Steph. He does way worse than that. Way worse than that.
What did he do?
Oh. So he was back in the mental hospital again on May 24th. and released on June 20th. But the mental hospital gave him a little weekend pass. Like, hey,
People need a break.
they need a break from the mental hospital.
If you're so incredibly mentally unstable that you're supposed to go for a long time and never get out, you need a break at least once a week. Everyone knows that.
So while he was on his weekend pass, he said, I'm going to blow the state. Hey, Oregon, I'm out.
Not
In
a
a week-
staycation. Not a staycation.
I don't know. I'm just thinking, how many miles is it from Portland, Oregon to Sacramento?
Let's look. We need to know.
I feel like that would be a long drive.
Yeah. I've driven
8,
to
10
Sacramento
hours?
from here before, but not from Portland.
8 to 10 hours?
And just,
What are
it's
we
at
looking at?
least 9 hours and
Oh.
15 minutes. It's 579 miles.
So this fucking, I'm just going to spend my
Quick
week.
weekend trip. I don't even go there on a weekend trip because you
Who does that?
Because that's, if you think of there and back, that's 20, it's almost a day of just travel. So whatever it would have to be worth it. Like seeing someone like graduate college or some other
No,
big
he
event.
had none of that in mind.
Wedding, maybe.
No,
It wasn't any of those. It was just
No,
for
he
a
was-
good old,
murder.
and it wasn't spicy enough as in his own state. He's like, I need some different cuisine.
While he was on a weekend pass, he traveled to Sacramento, where he killed Vivian Grant Robinson. And before you get to me, this gentleman was named Vivian Grant Robinson, which I didn't know is a traditional, so I had to really look because there was different reports that said he and she, but it was definitely a man, and I just think some people assumed because
Just an
Vivian.
elegant name.
It is actually. I do like the name Vivian. But a lot of research that I looked into reported his name as V. Grant Robinson. So I'm assuming that he went by Grant. Grant Robinson was 50 when he was murdered. He was a tax auditor for the state tax board. Grant was dead for 3 days before he was found strangled in his home on June 15th of 1974. This is just 5 days before Creech gets released from the mental hospital.
So he had a mini vacay and then
murdered.
They were like, you know what? You did so great on your weekend. Why would we ever keep you here? I know we told the warden and the sheriff and the
We got
judge,
you. But,
but you're
go clear your head. Get out of
actually
here.
very chill. Like the vibes, immaculate. You can't be in here, bud.
Several belongings were stolen and his car was missing. Creech actually used the victim's phone to call the mental hospital to tell them he will be arriving back 1 day late.
Because when you're on an interstate,
Murdering spree, it's exhausting.
well, and traffic can get really bad in that area.
Yeah.
And so I think people really need to know. And people didn't have cell phones. So how courteous. How courteous to be like, I'm going to do my best.
And what red flags did this not raise for them? Like, where are you?
Yeah, sure.
We
A
gave-
day, a week late.
We give you a weekend pass. Where did you go that you're going to be a whole day late?
You're supposed to be like around the corner. And
Right.
aren't you supposed to be in this county?
Oh, my. The murder was unsolved until Creech confessed in 1980.
He said, I went on a little trip. Unsolved from when to when?
74 to 1980.
Oh
So-
my gosh. So
But-
they're just like this vagabond. They have no idea even who he
Somebody
is.
just murdered this poor man. When the fingerprints were compared, Creech's matched the ones found at the crime scene. So once he confessed, because,
And what are the chances?
no, and they did not have the tools we have now. There was
There would have been a lot more.
Yeah. Creech was discharged from the hospital on June 20th, 1974. His doctor, Dr. Sessions, stated Creech did not have a psychiatric illness, and the hospital was under no obligation to hold him. She said that he was very pleasant, cooperative, and got along with staff and other patients. But the FBI was consulted before his release. Ohio got screwed, and this man is out murdering. He has to have some kind of a narcissistic. Anyway, I'm not.
The FBI is already involved, and they're like, this guy's vibes are off the chain. He's treated all of us great. So,
But
he
not
can
Miss.
go.
Yeah, but not Mr. Robinson and
No. Two. Are we at two now?
yes.
Okay.
You don't even know what's coming. It's ridiculous.
This is escalating very quickly. 2 by 74.
So, in the beginning of August of 74, Creech started working as a sexton for St. Mark's Episcopal Church in Portland. Go ahead.
Please tell me what a sexton is, because we have to stop on that, because I have never heard that term. I might have heard it, but I've never understood that.
I was waiting, but I did look it up. It is a custodian or a janitor for a church.
Okay.
He only worked there for 2 weeks. When he quit,
Stellar.
after the body of a man was found in his living quarters. I don't think he quit. This was like a no-show, right? No call, no show.
He's like, yeah, I accidentally might have left that body there, and now I know that there isn't any way that they're gonna continue my employment. So I'm just gonna go.
No call, no show.
NCNS on the record. I'm writing that down.
William J. Dean, 22, was shot on August 14th of 1974. As a friendly reminder, he has not even been out of the hospital for a month.
Very determined, very motivated.
Well, and he killed that man, Robinson, on June 15th. So we're talking less than 30 days. He's racking up another.
Well, and I just don't understand. Even like, you think of how many bad interactions you might have with people that could lead you to like a rage type of, or a self-defense. How often are people getting in these type of confrontations? Because
Is he the problem?
no, the mental hospital said he was pleasant and polite. It couldn't ever be him.
This poor kid. William J. Dean had not been in Portland long when he was murdered. William and his brother lived in Sweet Home, Oregon, which is not far from Portland. But they lived there from March to July, when he left Sweet Home to take a job setting chokers in Alaska. Go ahead and ask.
I've worn a choker before. They're coming back. But what do chokers have to do with Alaska?
I don't know. I looked it up and I forgot. I think it's something to do with logging. I think it has something to do with setting chain. I don't know.
My family
But
works
don't
in
hold
the
me to
logging
that because I
business.
looked it up and
No, that's legit.
it's in, it's out. So I did not make
Something
notes
to do
because
with
I
the
thought for
logging.
sure I'll remember that. No, I did not. But this gentleman, William, had called his parents and they were expecting him to arrive by bus back home a week before he was found dead. He had phoned his parents stating he was coming home. He's like, Alaska life isn't for me.
Peace.
And so I'm assuming he was waiting, like buses aren't running every day, right? He doesn't have a car.
especially not in Alaska.
You're flying from Alaska, Anchorage to Portland. He probably has to wait for the bus that goes to, I think it's Astoria is where his parents lived. William was found on August 17th, 3 days after he was shot. He was found by another janitor when he was trying to locate where a foul smell was coming from. Oh, that even makes me more mad.
Yeah.
A large caliber pistol was used to shoot him in the chest. There was no other physical abuse found. William was able to be identified using FBI fingerprints. William and his brother were arrested for possession and cultivation of the marijuana in June of 74, which is just... He had an FBI fingerprints.
So they were watching him for that.
Yeah, for growing a little pot. Which, ironic, totally illegal to grow pot in Oregon now.
Multi-million-dollar businesses now.
The cases were pending at the time of his death for the marijuana possession and cultivation. They make it sound like it's... Police said he was most likely killed at the church, but did not rule out the possibility it occurred somewhere else and then he was moved.
I don't see how they wouldn't know. Like, a large caliber pistol. I mean,
well, we're going to find this.
Sure.
You're going to hear the story here in a little bit about what happened. For them not to know, it just... Law enforcement just does not make me happy in the 70s.
No.
The same day William was found at the church, Creech had walked into a Salem, Oregon convenience store and shot 21-year-old Sandra Razamush.
Same day.
That he was... So it's 3 days later, the day that they found the body, and like, oh, this guy was living here. Where's he at?
They found the body. It's probably around the town. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to murder someone about this. This is very stressful for me. I got to go do a murder about it.
Sandra, a Hawaii native, was living at home with her parents and her new husband. She was just married in June. Just married. She hadn't been married 2 months. Her coworker said she was vibrant and full of life. She was shot in the chest in the storage room of the Circle K she worked at on a Saturday afternoon.
Just a regular Saturday afternoon at a Circle K. No motive, no robbing, no nothing.
Hey, Dr. Sessions. What do you think of your patient now? A customer had come into the store and saw the cash register open, and after investigating, found Sandra in the storage room. And this part breaks my heart. Her father was a zone manager for the Circle K chain. So, hey kiddo, need a job?
Guaranteed job.
I'm gonna help you out here. Let's find you a store here close to home that needs some help.
So just a little light robbery, but just to do this on an afternoon, on a weekend. In a Circle K.
Circle Ks. Do we even have any more here?
There might be one. I used to go there religiously with my mom. She had the Circle K cup. You go in.
The refillable cup?
Yes, you refill it.
Like the big 44?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew all the way, ready to go. And so, I mean, we would walk there after school. Don't shoot people in a Circle K for $50 out of the register, if that was even the intent.
The register was open, but he probably, most likely, I'm going to say, he did not have to kill her to steal that money. He had a large gun.
Is she going to fight him?
She just given him the money. Isn't that like the biggest rule with that, like working in a convenience store?
But I mean, especially if you,
I'm not going to die over this money.
In the industry, like, you have to think that they'd be like, don't lose your life over $200 in its hill.
Right. We love you. We like you. Don't do that. Just give him the money. Creech was being a dick. And you're going to see it. Here we go.
Big man in town.
Oh, he's not. He is a fucking coward. I'm sorry. I know. I researched this and I know where this goes. And so the level of disdain that I have for this man is at a much higher level than you probably have right now. So,
Yeah, I don't know if being concussed at a young age is excusing any of this.
no.
All right, vodka, vodka.
Vanka, Vanka.
Dingle, dingle.
In September, Creech met Carol Spalding in Fresno, California. The couple traveled to Kentucky and then back to Lewiston, Idaho, where they lived with Spalding's mother for a short time. On November 5th, Creech murdered Edward Thomas Arnold, 34, and John Wayne Bradford, 40, in Donley, Idaho. The men were traveling while searching for work as painters. Carol Spalding was with Creech when the murders took place. Both victims were shot with a .22 automatic weapon that was stolen from Carol's mother's home in Lewiston. Class act. Class act, this guy. Creech and Spalding were seen earlier in the day trying to sell a battery charger for gas and beer money. I don't know how much a battery charger was worth in the 70s. Or if it was a prize
It
commodity.
sounds very desperate. That's for sure.
Okay, that's my feeling. Edward was found shot in the temple, and John was shot 3 times in the head. Aggressive. Both men were found off the highway, covered under sleeping bags and blankets in a barrow pit
So they were tucked in the ditch, essentially.
in the ditch, the barrow. I don't know the reasoning behind that either. It seems very careless, very. They weren't trying to hide
I mean,
shit.
it was fall. They're probably hoping, like, if we just cover it up nicely with a blanket, then snow.
I don't think he was trying.
I don't think it was on purpose based on other decisions. But that,
He's a sloppy murderer who got lucky, and he's just.
I think Carol tucked him in. I don't think he had anything to. I think Carol's like, shouldn't we at least cover the bodies? These bodies are just
maybe
bodying out here.
possibly.
I feel like Carol saw this and was like, should we meet at the very least?
because women.
We're just gonna leave that. I mean, I feel like we could do a little bit more.
Okay. After Creech murdered the men, they slept in the dead man's car, a 1955 Buick, at Cougar Mountain Lodge. The couple ran out of gas trying to keep warm. And I don't know how they got away from there, but they ended up in Glens Ferry.
Maybe hitchhiking. That was so popular.
It was very popular. Both men were found dead just a few hours after the car was impounded by the sheriff. Hopefully they realized that it was tit for tat, but, like, oh, there's just an abandoned car in the middle of winter, and we found dead men.
Connect those dots, maybe. Hopefully.
The couple ended up in Glens Ferry, Idaho, which is like at least 2, if not 3 hours away from where they were. So they had to have hitchhiked. They ended up in Glens Ferry, Idaho, where they met Dr. Stephen P. Rivers. The couple approached him while at a rest stop outside of Boise and asked if they could warm up in his car. He allowed them to get in the car and later agreed that they could accompany him to Salt Lake City. Creech stayed in the car sleeping while Spalding went to a Glens Ferry cafe to get a cup of coffee, where the policemen recognized her.
Uh-oh.
I don't understand this part, but they let him get in the car because they were pulled over with guns drawn, and the pair was arrested. Oh, isn't that somebody we're looking for? Let's just let them. Sorry, I'm just the law enforcement.
So they let them get in what car? Their own car?
No, the doctor's car who was letting them hitchhike to Salt Lake with them. That man is so lucky.
Yeah, he would have been out of there.
I think he would have been dead. In November of 1974,
We're still in the same year.
Creech tried to commit suicide with a broken piece of mirror. He has slashed his wrists. Police are spending a lot of time talking with Creech and about his crimes. And this led him to search for other victims. And the only reason I comment on the committing suicide is because it's a theme. He
Sounds like it.
um
So wait, he did this in jail or?
yeah, while he was in jail.
So in jail, this is at least the second time he's done this.
Right. To
In
get out of a
1 year.
sticky situation. I feel like it's a very like, oh, I'm in trouble, and he probably does.
And he was released. This is the first time
Yeah.
he slit his wrist. He went to a mental hospital.
This is what he's
They were
looking
like,
for.
of course he can have vacation.
Right.
And then he had his little
I do think,
slaycation, if you will.
yeah. Ooh, slaycation.
Well,
It was horrible. So I do think that he is doing this to, in my opinion, based on what goes on, throughout his life while in prison. I do think he's doing it as an attention seeking, diverting type of situation where, oh, I'm just going to try to hurt myself, and maybe the parole board won't care. Maybe they won't care if
and it's worked.
and it has worked for him.
He
in the
got to
past.
go to basically a resort at the, maybe not a resort, but a place that was like, you could leave, sure.
Yeah. Oh, you want a weekend pass to go kill people?
You're going to stay here for less than 3 months, and then we're going to let you go. So if it had worked before, why wouldn't you do it again?
The police were spending a lot of time talking with Creech about his crimes. This led them to search for other victims. One such expedition was on May 4th, 1975. We moved into a new year.
Finally.
Officials took Creech to Nevada to look for 8 additional murder victims near Bakersfield, California, that Creech claimed to murder. When no bodies were found, they headed back to Idaho when the plane they were traveling on tried to land. The emergency landing came after I've read it both ways. One of the officers blacked out from lack of oxygen. Does that even happen?
Maybe if it's not pressurized, right?
Or because of heavy snow. But they ended up crashing on a muddy road. During the later trial, testimony was presented that a sheriff's gun had become loose.
Exactly what you want in that situation with the serial killer. Sure.
An uncuffed Creech, gingerly holding it, handed the gun back to the sheriff. He said, "Sheriff, here's your weapon back."
Uncuffed. Because you want to give that flight experience.
First class, baby. All the way. I murdered all these people. And
Was there a champagne welcome? Did he have a lay flat seat? That's really what's important here.
did he get a pillow? Blanket?
Did he get pajamas and slippers?
Oh, this is if I'm taking a suspected murderer in a plane, he's going to be handcuffed. Don't give a shit about your comfort, buddy. Don't give a fuck.
Sorry about it.
I mean, do you think if they had found 8 people dead like he had claimed, that he would have been cuffed? I kind of don't think so.
Well, and I mean, as much as you don't want an inmate being able to hurt you from the back of a car, from the back of a plane is immensely more serious. Like, let's be real. No, don't cuff him. You know how hard it is to be on a plane in a cramped seat and be cuffed. Like, too much. Please.
Stop. In June of 1975, Creech's cellmate was taken to the hospital with facial injuries after an altercation. Officers would not release any other details due to the gag order in place. And in July Creech filed a $1.8 million lawsuit against the Statement Print Company for publicity adverse to his trial. Creech claimed his Sixth Amendment rights were violated, which provides for a speedy, impartial trial by an impartial jury. The publicity caused his trial to be moved to another county, therefore losing a speedy trial. It was later dismissed. On August 5th, he's just grabbing for straws. He's just... And one attorney was like, oh, I'll write this up for you. On August 5th, Creech was divorced after a 2-year marriage to a 19-year-old Thomasine Lorraine Creech.
Because she was in and then out of this story.
Yeah, they were married.
And then he was with Carol. And
But if he'd been married to her for 2 years, she was 17. She had died while she was a patient at the Oregon State Hospital.
Thomasine?
Yeah. On August 12th, Creech suffered a head injury and was taken to the hospital. He apparently fell from his bunk and required stitches. Just the theme rolling. In October of 1975, the trial for the murder of Tom and John began. Can we just appreciate for a half a second how efficient the court system was? We see people sitting in jail for years and years before. How long has Koberger been in? 2 years?
I think at least 2 years.
Yeah. This is less than a year.
They're like, no, come see us.
We're going to trial.
This.
Which I appreciate, by the way. Like, let's get this thing rolling.
Mm-hmm.
In October, the trial for the murder of Tom and John began. The prosecution stated Creech admitted several times to the killings. He stated once he was trying to protect Carol Spaulding, once trying to protect himself. After the plane crash that he had in May, he again stated he was responsible for the killings. The shell casings found in the 1955 Buick matched the test-fired shells to the gun that he had stolen from Carol's mom. Both victims, though, had a BAC over .08. One was .14 and one was .195. Not a fan of the drinking and driving. I just think that that's how he took advantage of these people.
Yeah.
They didn't have all their wits about him.
And it sounds like he was good at making fast friends and gaining trust quickly to get into a position where he could do that.
Dr. Sessions thought he was awesome. On Saturday, October 11th, Carol Spaulding testified. After 10 minutes worth of testimony, Creech's attorney said she needed her own attorney. Judge Ducey handed down his decision that she will need her own attorney to avoid self-incrimination. Which, good for that judge. Like,
It's like, honey, this is your way
this isn't
to
good. She was granted immunity for her testimony. She had run from the scene, but she said Creech had threatened her. Carol testified she saw Creech shoot the two men and added they never pulled a knife or attempted to rape her. While stopped for a bathroom break for Carol, Creech shot both men in the car. She stated that Mr. Arnold had put his arms around her and placed his hand on her breast. Ada County Sheriff Palmer testified Creech tried to kill another inmate while in the Ada County Jail. The inmate was in for statutory rape of his 13-year-old niece. Ugh. Palmer also stated Creech tried to escape twice while in the Ada County. Who is just escaping all the time? Stop. Court was held on a Saturday because they had moved the trial up north. They said because he couldn't get, his attorney had fought that they couldn't get a fair trial down here in the, or they couldn't get a fair trial in Valley County due to the publicity down here in the Valley. So it got moved up to, I want to say it was Whitebird, but it got moved up north to this tiny little place. So they had all these people sequestered, just
Nothing to do.
nothing to do. So,
And the judge said, y'all ain't doing anything.
he said, you ain't doing anything. Yeah. Court was held on Saturday because Judge Jersey stated that the sequestered jury had nothing to do but sit around anyway. Maybe they want to lay around and watch TV.
Move it along. You're not even allowed to watch TV.
Oh, shit.
You can go into, and listen, this was the 70s, but
They're not going to Blockbuster.
even like 80s, 90s, you could go into a group room and watch a VHS. Absolutely no TV, no antenna TV, no cable TV. Pick a VHS and watch it in the room with.
Maybe they just wanted to read a book and not listen to this crazy guy.
I would.
For a
I'd be
day.
like,
They can do that on Sunday. When Creech did take the stand in his own defense, this just proves what an idiot he is. Are you ready, Steph?
mm-hmm.
He claimed he killed as many as, take a guess,
7.
42 people.
Many times more than what I did.
But not these guys.
So yeah, I didn't murder any of those ones, but
I
I've
did-
murdered people.
So if I'm
as one
confessing to
does.
all of these murders, you should know I'm absolutely telling you the truth when I did not kill these men that I'm on trial for. Shut the fuck up. With outlandish stories of satanic cults and mob hits. Oh.
he was really getting into it.
He was.
This
42.
This was the flavor of the panicky things.
So, okay, this is going to be a lot. A lot of 42 people.
Give me the breakdown.
I'm going to give you. Prosecutors have stated that most of the satanic cult stuff came almost word for word from a May 1974 Playboy article.
Got his hand on a nudie mag and was like, "This is my out.
This is my out.
If Hugh Hef says it's down, people are gonna love this."
Creech said he committed his first murder at the age of 17 when he drowned a friend in Ohio. He stated he drowned his friend because he thought he was responsible for the death of Creech's girlfriend at the time of an auto accident. Then he claimed he killed a homosexual man by beating him to death in San Francisco. I hate that he said that about a human being, but it's the 70s.
It's kind of a cop out at that point.
Yeah, and he beat him to death.
Brutal,
Oh,
disgusting.
but he didn't kill these guys.
These are just his stories. So is he like talking to jailmates and be like, "Everyone gather around, give me a roster. Who'd
Yeah.
you kill? It'll be a win-win.
It'll be a win-win.
I'll take responsibility. It'll get me off of these murders," because
Yeah.
they're like,
I didn't kill those guys in Donley.
and then also someone else confessed to your crime. So we Gucci.
Let's go. 5 more were killed on murder contracts set out by the president of a motorcycle gang in Ohio.
Man,
Well, Creech claimed he was elected the national enforcer by the gang.
what a title. National. I mean, he was a traveler. So they're like, this guy will get on a bus.
What's your title? Any? I'm a national enforcer.
All of them.
Then he went from being a national enforcer of a motorcycle gang to being a president of a national motorcycle gang in Southern California.
Presidente.
Then he, claimed he killed a man while in the Hells Angel gang named Ski in 78.
They're all ski.
Isn't motorcycle gangs like you're just in,
I don't know that you can be part of multiple.
or just jump around? But there's more. He claimed he killed Carrie Whitesell outside of Hamilton, Ohio in the early 70s, and 6 more people in Kentucky and Ohio.
This is already a lot of people that, like, where would you find the time?
He's been very well, he's worldwide.
Nationwide. On your side.
Creech claimed killing Tom Carey in February of 73 in California and another in Victorville, California named Sanchez. I would just like to remind you He was in prison until 73,
Mm-hmm.
and he was arrested in 74. So just keep in mind this short timeline, because he didn't get out on parole from Ohio for the original unarmed robbery.
I don't know if you could travel that fast back then.
The thumb was working. Oh, and he claimed to, and also in 1973, he killed another in Victorville, California, named Sanchez.
Hmm.
He followed that up with 2 other identified men later that year in California. He was pulling shit out of his ass. In 74, he did admit to killing Vivian Grant Robinson and claimed another motorcycle gang member named JoJo in California. More victims claimed were Joe Daga from Seattle. So now he's in Washington, Jesus. David Cranio of Seattle. And while living in Beaver, Utah, he had killed a businessman in Colorado and another in Salt Lake City.
Stop.
I'm done. We're going to another state now. He also claimed to kill a man named Red at a Wyoming dude ranch. Red could be the victim named Ryogli Stewart McKenzie. He was found in Baggs, Wyoming on February 13th, 1975. He was identified by fingerprints. Creech claims that he shot him in August of 74. He also killed Charles Miller in Nevada and Larry Johnson near Baggs, Wyoming. Charles Thomas Miller was from Vegas and is one of the 11 known victims of Creech. So for sure known, 11.
So he's sprinkling in.
He is telling some truth, but also telling lots of lies.
Yeah.
Lots
this
of
is like
lies.
physically impossible.
I was unable to locate any information for this victim. His age and hometown are unknown. Creech claimed he was a backup hitman to kill a man named Stanton. He was to kill the hitman after the hitman killed Stanton. Now, Stanton was age 44, was missing since August of 74 before his body was found 3 months later on information given by Creech. So this one is attributed. This is one that
Because he knew
counts.
where the body was.
Gordon was a parts salesman for Reynolds Electrical and a union organizer. His body was found 65 miles north of Las Vegas. Scattered skeletal remains were used to identify him. Police had found a vehicle in the area in August of 74, but towed it away because they thought it was abandoned. There's
Missing
so
guy.
many abandoned vehicles.
And their owners, we can't find them either, but that's surely not related.
Should we maybe reach out, say, hey, we found your car?
People just leave their cars places and they're just out gallivanting. And if their family says they haven't seen them, they were probably on rollerblades.
He also claimed he killed 3 members of the Banditos Motorcycle Club in New Mexico in the summer of 74.
Summer 74. What a wild time.
Oh my God, this guy's off his rocker. John Boy Warren in October of 74 in Barstow, California. Creech said he was murdered because Warren had killed an elderly couple without authorization. He is living in some motorcycle gang dream.
Vivid imagination.
He also claimed to kill Tom Jerry Sage and his wife in October of 74. There's more. 2 newscasters in Missoula, Montana. And
Because no one would have heard about that.
Nobody. In the late summer of 74. Jeff Oswald, also in Missoula. The Missoula murders were all contract killings, he claimed. If newscasters are getting murdered,
With no
I think it would make the news.
investigation.
I mean, our
who
weather
knows
guy
what's newsworthy?
here,
He stubbed his toe one time. It was a full week story.
yes. This is exhausting. It really is. Another Banditos member, Walter Chief Henshaw, Missoula.
Not Walt.
3 more for good measure in satanic rituals in Ogden, Utah, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Wichita, Kansas. Where has this man not been?
Nobody's this interesting. Nobody's like, I am in a satanic cult and also part of every motorcycle gang across the United States, which spans thousands of miles. And I'm also their number one, what was his job title?
National enforcer.
I am the number one national enforcer for somehow all of the gangs, which you would think the gangs would be fighting. So I don't know how there's one, but sure.
Totally believable. The Sheriff Palmer. I wonder at what point his attorney was like, shut the fuck up.
I think he probably was doing it after like 4. He's like,
Shut the fuck up.
he's looking at his dates. He's like, I'm looking at my dates. I'm like,
Stop.
physically. I mean, and some of them are a maybe. Like, I guess if it all went right and you had someone take you personally, you weren't riding a Greyhound, sure.
Maybe.
No, I'm sure his attorney was stressed to the max of like nightmare client. Like, why are you doing a strategy? This isn't your job. This is my job.
He might have thought him a nightmare client, but you wouldn't know it by his actions.
Was he really like 10 toes down for his client? He's like, this man, innocent. He wouldn't hurt a fly except for those
42 people.
Those 42 people and the other ones that he also admitted to and then was never really prosecuted and everyone forgot about.
So he did not kill those gentlemen in Donley.
Of course. Why would he do that? That's so unlike him.
During the trial, the Sheriff Palmer said Creech was very convincing. And that's why he conducted some of those searches based off his claim. You know what?
Because you're like, well, we don't know what to believe and what not to. And some of them
I just
were credible.
don't think. Look. And maybe because it was the 70s, if somebody told me this shit, like, oh, you were. I would love to see somebody with training in law enforcement now
do that interview.
Like, even like no.
Like, really, how did you get from Kentucky to Portland back to Kentucky in the same day?
And please tell me how you were all these motorcycle gangs and they trusted you. Like,
yeah, who appointed you? This enforcer.
So the sheriff was like, yeah, he is very convincing. He said, like, on the May 4th trip to California, Creech had stated his mother was buried in a mine in California and that he wanted to be there when her body was found. Fun fact, though.
In a mine.
Creech's mother, at the time of the trial, had been missing for over a year.
So they're like, maybe this is it too, guys.
Sheriff Palmer stated that was the reason he had lied about the mass grave. And Creech stated he was only ranked number 8 among the paid killers for the unnamed motorcycle gang, despite the 42 murders.
So not even gold, silver, or bronze.
How do you get in the top 3? I want to know. How do you get in the top 3?
Especially if Creech is thinking this is all real. He probably thinks that he should be the national champion.
But he's only ranked 8. That must be discipline.
If
I was ranked 8th in anything, I'd be like, this is not my gig.
Well, and out of how many? Was there 9 of them? Ooh, ouch.
Maybe there was only 8.
I was ranked 8, but it was a national competition. Keep that in mind. National. You know how many states we have? You know how many regions we have? They're like, there's 8 of your position.
I don't see Olympians coming home and saying, I ranked 8th. No.
You're not going for the gold, Creech. Loser.
He's just so ridiculous. Creech stated that he did not kill Paul Schrader in Arizona, but he was there. He was there. And he was paid $1,500 for providing information on Paul Schrader. For what? He's a fat mouth. Creech said a man named Sanchez killed Schrader and said later that he had killed him. Hitman for the hitman.
I feel like he's just pulling out names out of his ass because I feel like Sanchez has been mentioned several times. It's like pulling
No, he
his
did
name was
commit.
John Smith.
He did admit to killing Sanchez out of those 42 people, but I wonder if he was asked to repeat this story, if he could even do it.
There's a lot.
So he was the backup to the backup anyway. In earlier confessions, he stated he was paid as much as $10,000 for providing information on Paul Schrader. The psychiatrist testifying for the defense said Creech did not suffer from a significant mental defect or disease. That's a little backfired. I really think that that's what they were trying to do here.
With the cutting the wrists and clearly this man is living in a fantasy world.
Right. That was their whole defense. After 7 hours of deliberation, Creech was convicted on October 25th, 1975. On March 25th, 1976, Creech was sentenced to death by hanging. That conviction was commuted to a life sentence as a result of the July 1976 Supreme Court ruling. So they said that it was, the death penalty was off the table. Idaho did appeal that decision, and it sits, right? Like these things just sit, and you're going to see that carry through. While in prison, Creech worked as a janitor.
A sexton.
He has
going back to his roots.
His experience. Despite two prosecutors that warned the warden that he was a threat to other inmates. Because when you get, that's like a special job in prison.
Yeah, because you
get access. You get to be out.
Cleaning agents.
Yes.
Out and about when others aren't. Not great. Not great for someone who probably killed 11, but says that they killed 42.
But he was inexperienced, so they said, let's go with that.
They're like, you've wiped down the table before.
You got this, bro.
You know what a wash rag is? Incredible.
In January 1977, Creech claimed he'd rather die than live his life out in prison. In February, he wrote to the Idaho State Penitentiary Warden Anderson and Idaho Supreme Court Justice McFadden that if his appeal is not heard soon, he wants the death sentence carried out. Being on death row is driving him crazy because Idaho's appealing that 76 Supreme Court ruling saying, nope.
No hanging. They're
no
like,
hanging.
We can't hang people. What?
So he's like, let's just get this over with, is what Creech is asking. He just wants to die. He said being on death row is, quote, driving him crazy. In December, his attorney Robinson asked that Creech be set free. He argued that his conviction should be void because he was convicted under unconstitutional law. So this is the part where I'm like his attorney's like, yeah, nah.
Okay.
In 1978, Dewey Napier was hospitalized after Creech, his cellmate, stabbed him in the chest, groin, and right shoulder with a steak knife.
How? An actual steak knife?
A steak. I mean, I don't think a plastic fork wasn't going to do that.
This is insane that they're like, of course we give our inmates steak knives. Mm-hmm. They have steaks sometimes. How are you going to eat a steak? You bite it. Not on it.
It's like jerky, bitch. You're not getting...
You can't tell me you're getting like a medium rare steak anyway. It's probably like a hockey puck. And it's probably like meat that's expired.
Yeah.
Like,
no, you get to eat it like... And who's getting... What? Are they really getting steak in prison? Okay. The 70s. In January of 1979, Idaho Supreme Court ruled that he could not be executed. Creech said Creech said, that he did not believe in the death penalty. And when asked why, he stated, quote, "I don't know." He's a genius.
A mystery.
Creech was still facing 3 murder charges in Oregon and California. During his trial for the Idaho murders, Creech admitted to killing Dean, but claimed it was in self-defense. This is the gentleman that was in the church.
Thank goodness. At least he admitted that.
He said Dean was involved with, well, you think like, good, oh, he admitted it. Okay, that one's one and done. No. He said that Dean was involved with the pushing of his former wife, Thomasine, out of a window at an Oregon mental hospital. February of 79, he was officially sentenced to those 2 consecutive life terms for the murders in Idaho. So Creech asked to be tried on the murder charges in Oregon.
Okay.
A written request on March 14th started the 6-month deadline for Oregon to try him under an interstate compact with Idaho. If not tried within that time frame, the charges would be dropped.
To me, this sounds like him being Mr. National. We can't call him Mr. International like the bull. He's Mr. National though. I mean, he's traveling across the country. I feel like he's itching for that life. He's like,
He wants a vacay.
you want to try me, Kentucky? I'll write a letter to the judge and say, can you please try me?
Utah,
I hear that
Montana. Wait, what? Wyoming? He's
Wyoming.
He's been everywhere.
Can I please just drive past Yellowstone on my way? I mean, I just want to ask the court to try me there because I may have done some murders a time or 2 or 17. Oops.
So Creech was returned to Oregon in April to face the charges. Because the death penalty did not exist in Oregon when both crimes were committed, he only faces life. I love how I say that. He only faces life. April 24th, he was in court for the indictment for the murder of Dean, where he pled not guilty. By August 7th, on August 7th, the trial is set to begin. But by July 24th, Creech is like, I'm out. He pled guilty. His attorney, Des Connell, stated Creech pled guilty because he had to get out of the Rocky Butte jail. Wasn't his jam.
He said, this hotel, what is this, a Motel 6?
I don't even get to be a janitor and have steak knives here.
There's no room service, no steak knives. I'm out.
Creech was locked in a cell 23 and a half hours a day.
Oh.
Rightfully so.
Oh.
His attorney said Creech pled guilty against his advice. Creech...
He's like, I don't care. I'll go.
He's like, I don't think you...
I'm going to write up my next letter to a judge in a different state. This one, clearly, I didn't look at the reviews. I didn't look at it on Travelocity. I'll look next time.
Like, do you want to try for something a little less than life? Yeah, fuck it. Let's go.
I want a nice view is what I want.
Take me back to the Idaho. So Creech was sentenced to his 3rd life term in August for the murder of Dean. So back in 1974, Gene Alvin Hilby was arrested as an accomplice for Dean's murder, but the charges were dismissed. He confessed to burying the rifle at Creech's request after he shot Dean. He ended up pleading guilty to hindering prosecution in the murder case. Gene Hilby testified to what happened that night Dean was killed. Hilby stated that he had only known Creech for 2 days before the murder. He met them through a woman, Linda Crandell, that was living with him and his wife.
Damn.
This poor guy's like, I need to check my references on my
He's
roommates.
like, yeah, I did bury a gun, but I
wouldn't bury a gun for nobody.
The guy was super nice. My friends all loved him. Like,
I knew him for 48 hours.
Literally 48 hours.
He's my bro.
Super great guy.
So his roommate, Linda Crandell.
Linda.
Listen, Linda. I couldn't help. I called him at 2:30 in the morning on August 14th, stating Creech was in trouble at the church. She said Creech had been stabbed by some bikers at the church and needed to go to the hospital. Of course. I mean, I'm surprised it wasn't a satanic cult. So Creech had called, said that he was in trouble at the church. So she called her roommate. The roommate's like, "What's up?" And she said,
Biker gang.
"Biker gang." She said Creech had been stabbed by some bikers at the church and needed to go to the hospital.
Bikers at the church need hospital.
How about 911? Anyway. So Hilby drove to the church with his 30-30 rifle in his truck. This is just bad ideas. If you called me and said you were being stabbed by a motorcycle or satanic cult gang / whatever, like, why you call me for? I'm gonna call 911. Where are you at? Not these guys. Like, I'm gonna take my gun over there and show them what's up. I imagine there was large amounts of drugs involved in some of
I
these.
think people might have been a smidge inebriated.
So he takes his gun, his rifle,
Big ass rifle.
he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go save this guy from the 3 bikers that
Hero
have already
complex.
stabbed him."
He's like, I've been waiting for this. I always wanted to shoot someone with this. This is my chance.
Hilby drove to the church with his 30-30 rifle in his truck. Creech had met him in the front of the church. Creech was not stabbed, but said 3 bikers were still in his room.
That's where they hang out, is at a church. Everyone knows that. Biker gangs at a church.
Everyone. And he asked Hilby for the rifle, and he gave it to him. He said, "Yeah, go take care of business, bro." A few minutes later, he saw a flash of light and heard a rifle shot. "Who sent your friend in?" "Oh." But he was scared and he drove away. "Here's the gun. If anything goes down, though, I'm going to leave you here by yourself." But after a few minutes later, he returned to see if Creech was the one who'd been shot. "I'm not going anywhere near there. If I leave, I'm out."
Are you dead, though? Like,
I'd be like, he stole the gun out of my house when he was visiting Linda. Have no idea how he got, like, I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
I'm not going there. I'm like, it's
well,
2:30
yes.
in the morning. Click.
Sleep is very important.
Call the authorities.
He said Creech came out about 10 minutes later. So he just leaves and he comes back and is just chilling out in front of the church. Because 10 minutes later, Creech showed up showing no emotion.
Where's the biker gang?
He took care of that shit. Okay. Showing no emotion, holding the weapon under his arm.
Enforcer.
National. Hilby then followed Creech into the church and saw the body of a man with a bullet hole in his chest sitting on the couch. There had to be drugs. No, I'm not. 2 days I know you, I wouldn't. Steph, I love you.
I'd say, I don't even remember your
But
name.
I would not, if you said I just shot somebody, I'd be like, we need to call the Pope.
I'd say, don't say that over the phone. Don't say that to anyone, especially not me.
Don't even tell me.
I've known you for less than 50 hours. That's a no-no. Less than 50 hours, don't admit to murder.
Don't take somebody. I would never give a gun to somebody. First of all, I would never give a gun. Somebody called me 2:30 in the morning wanting a gun. It's not fucking
Even
happening.
if you did, I'd be like, that's very suspicious. I'm going to have to hold off for a 30-day holding period. Like, I don't care if you need it for, like, grouse or whatever, or, like, you're going to have to fill out a special paperwork because no.
2:30 in the morning would throw you over the edge.
I'd say, Dani, 30-day hold has started now. You're not borrowing any of our firearms.
On a sad note, in November of that year, his former wife, Thomasine, at the age of 23, hung herself at the Oregon State Hospital.
23.
Yeah.
So I feel like Thomasine probably was never ready to be married in the first place.
No, and I do believe that she had some mental issues. But it's just sad, and then all of this stuff, that had to weigh on her too as well, that the man I was married to is a horrible person and doing all these things. But I think that she was mentally ill because she'd been in and out of I mean, when she divorced him at 19, she was in a mental hospital. So
That's for that time, that even speaks volumes that she was able to divorce him.
no shit. I didn't even think of that.
That's not easy those days. They're like, for what? Can you prove he tried to kill you? Or you can't just no fault divorce, I don't think. Maybe depending on the state. I don't know all laws, but
Well, I
was
can
it a
tell
thing?
you she couldn't have a credit card without her husband's permission. And don't even get me started. All right. The charge for the murder of Sandra Ramajus was dismissed. This pisses me off. County officials stated they were concerned about the cost of the trial. Oh, and stated that if 3 life sentences doesn't keep him behind bars, then there must be something wrong with the system.
Wow, what a
Her fucking poor parents, and I want justice for my child. Her poor husband, they've been married 2 months.
so
Good on you, dude. You're going to
this
say,
was Circle K gal
yeah.
that he just blatantly shot.
It pisses me off.
People need to be proved to have done their crimes, especially it seems like this wasn't a very sneaky snag. Like,
Do you feel that nowadays that would not have happened, that they would have still tried him?
I think so.
I do too. But also, don't you think that prosecutors are more victim forward now,
Mm-hmm.
being more? I just don't think that if somebody said that statement
They're like,
today,
the boxes have been
50
checked.
years later, there would be outrage,
Mhm.
absolute outrage.
Yeah. Okay. Little Jimmy, he got justice because it was an easy case. Little Kimmy, though, I mean, we still
Yeah.
have a good amount of evidence,
Well, you know,
but
he's already
what's the
convicted to
point?
life. We're
what's the point? I don't think we would hear that now.
good. Anyway, 70s, crazy times.
Clearly.
In January of 81,
80s.
oh, I'm sorry, I jumped
Excited.
ahead.
I'm excited.
1980,
1980.
in June, Creech is transferred to California to face charges for the murder of Vivian Grant Robinson in Sacramento.
Sunshine State.
Right?
Is this a nice Airbnb for him?
This is a gentleman that was found dead in his home while on his weekend pass from the mental hospital. Judge Boscovich found Creech guilty in the suffocation death of Grant in September of that year. In January of 81, Creech was suspected of stabbing another inmate because they're just giving steak knives.
Stop.
Eugene Downard in prison, but he was not charged. It's just a little stabbing. I don't know. Creech was still not placed in isolation because the wounds were not severe, said Warden Darrell Gardner. Can I just...
Daryl.
It's spelled Darrol. This inmate Downard was stabbed 3 times with a homemade tool in the arm, neck, and stomach. But
That's a scratch. It's not an actual steak knife. We learned our lesson with those.
But he wasn't even placed in isolation. Never mind. There
They're
was no
like,
charges. They're like,
Creech.
maybe we shouldn't let this crazy fucking criminal.
Creech, that was very mean. There was actual blood, and it was not okay. Now,
Continue
let's
on.
continue with our regularly scheduled programming, and don't you ever do that again.
No more homemade tools.
Stop doing that.
I mean, at least it wasn't a steak knife.
Like we used to give him butcher knives. We thought we were being, we thought we lessened the blade, but
We
okay.
gave him machetes. Jeez. We're still in 81 in May. So, okay, I just want to just set this out again because I know the timeline. It's a lot. We're doing 50 years here. So in January of 81, suspected of stabbing another inmate. Well, he did suspected. They just
Stabby
never went with it because he's like, it's not a big deal. So 5 months later in May, Creech murdered David Dell Jensen in the Idaho State Prison.
And this is 82.
No, 81. 5 months later.
Damn.
Creech and Jensen argued earlier in the day at lunch over spilt food because Creech was the janitor, right?
Which he
He's getting
could
his
have
all.
never had that.
No.
Regardless.
So Creech was a janitor at the prison. Jensen was just 3 months into a 3-year sentence for grand larceny at the time.
He stole some things.
He's a kid. Jensen was originally serving his sentence in Bonneville County and then transferred to the minimum security North Idaho Correctional Institute at Cottonwood in March. Cottonwood. Jensen escaped from Cottonwood on March 24th.
Get it, Jensen.
To only be captured one day later. I'm sorry. How are so many people just escaping out of jail in the 70s?
I would be so serious with people of having a plan. I feel like they get out and maybe they didn't expect to get out. And so then they're like, whoops, this worked.
I mean, it's no Shawshank Redemption, but Jesus, like, how are people just escaping all the time?
Not as secure as it's. At that time, I feel like it was a lot the image of there's bars here, there's cement here. What could you ever do? And people were like, give me 20 years to think about it.
And a poster of hot women, and I'm going to just.
And a spoon and a pocket.
Done.
I'll find a way out. No, they thought that your mind would just be like a flat line. What else can you think about?
It's just amazing. I'm sorry I'm giggling, but
there was a lot of escapes because they thought that it could just be like the smoke and mirrors.
So he was captured one day later. So then they had to take him to the maximum security prison, the Idaho State Prison.
Now you're in big trouble.
You're big time, buddy. Warden Gardner said 2 guards supervised the 50 maximum security inmates at any one time. During exercise times, the guards can't monitor both the exercise yard and the cell from the guard station. I think that was
problem is that
a design flaw, Mr. Architect.
That's a staffing problem that you were trying to save money.
The unit is not designed for constant supervision. Then what is a maximum security prison designed for if not constant supervision?
Is this a playpen? Is this a pack and play? We can't staff that many people at a pack and play. Are you out of your mind?
Jensen was assaulted in the exercise yard. Just the week before he was killed, Jensen had told his father on a cell phone call that he had seen the light and didn't want to spend the rest of his life like this. He stated he's going to do something different.
Damn it, Jensen, I'm sorry.
Fuck you, Creech. He's just a fucking kid.
Like, you just murdered all these people out there, and now you gotta murder all these people that you know are in for the pettiest of crimes compared.
I'm going to talk a little bit about Jensen. His family described him as a gentle soul and a prankster who loved hunting and spending time outdoors. Who was the peanut butter to his sister's jelly. I thought that was so sweet. His daughter, who was 4 when he was killed, has stated how she had never gotten to know him and how unfair it was that Creech is still around when her father isn't. As a child, David Jensen loved hunting and fishing with his dad. His parents divorced when he was 10, and his mother moved to Pennsylvania with his 3 sisters while he stayed with his dad in Idaho. That was kind of a very common thing, I think. Mm-hmm. Like, boys stay with dads, girls goes with moms back in the day. He only saw his mother 2 times in the next 8 years. At age 17, he and another teenage girl stole a car and drove it to Texas. Overachiever. Idaho to Texas. That's a big
drive.
Yeah. But on the way back to Idaho, they had to break into a gas station. Probably money, I'm just thinking.
Something.
Gas money. And they were caught. Both teenagers were released on probation. Can you imagine nowadays somebody still in a car and getting out on probation?
No.
No. Like, kids being kids.
Kids steal a car sometimes. That's
Drive to
a rite
Texas,
of
break
passage.
into.
You can steal one, maybe 7 cars.
They-
That's it.
Then they broke into the gas station. Like, so they were released on probation. But David quit school his senior year and worked odd jobs until he lost them due to arrests and jailing for shoplifting and auto theft. He was out there doing
some crime.
being a little mischievous. In 1976, David's mother committed suicide. So I mean, he's lived the life. Like he's
not at all.
And 2 months after his mother committed suicide, David shot himself in the head while playing Russian roulette while his girlfriend and other teenagers watched. He survived the shot to his head,
Oh my God. That's happened to someone I know.
but had to have a third of his brain removed, and a metal plate was installed to protect his brain. He was sent to the state hospital for mental treatment, but the hospital discharged him. Jensen was then sentenced to 3 months for stealing a car in Utah and another time in Pocatello, Idaho. He was in and out of jail and was also sent back to the state hospital. So he's just, he's lost.
But he's not lost, like, oops, accidentally tripped into a murder
No.
6 times in a year.
I mean, I shouldn't say this is harmless stuff, but I feel like it's very adolescent stuff, and he's had a hard life. And now,
And he was getting caught a lot where it's like, let's refine our methods, maybe.
right? But also, to have a third of your brain, I mean, I know he was up to be mischievous, but then how do you function at a full, and with a third of your brain removed? Like, I think that would affect.
Yeah, I don't see how it couldn't.
He was then convicted for another auto theft and sent to state prison. This is how all of this started, with him being up at Cottonwood and coming back down, coming down here to the maximum security. David's family said he should have never been placed around violent criminals. Agreed.
Yeah.
Jensen died from contusions and lacerations to the brain, said the Ada County coroner. Jensen had just turned 23 4 days before he was killed.
So young.
Right? Creech stated that Jensen had tried to attack him with a sock filled with batteries. Creech took it away from him. Jensen then went to his cell and returned with a toothbrush with a razor blade taped to it. Jensen lugged at Creech again, and Creech hit Jensen with a sock between his eyes. The sock broke and the batteries went all over the floor. The plate in Jensen's skull was crushed. While Jensen was on the ground bleeding and helpless, Creech kicked him in the throat and the head. Jensen was later found by a guard and taken to the hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries and died.
Clearly.
So I don't know in my research if I believe because this is Creech stating. So I'm not sure.
It's just funny to me that this other Jensen, like, never had really violent stuff at all. And now all of a sudden he's attacking people.
There was some rumor around there that he was irritated at Jensen for leaving a mess, and that because he was a janitor. I just don't. Look, I don't think that 23-year-old would be aggressive to a fucking serial killer who should not have been the janitor.
Exactly.
Creech pled innocent in May, and trial was set for November 2nd, and the death penalty was on the table. In August, Creech pled guilty. He said he was ready to die and wanted to be executed. When Creech pled guilty to first-degree murder, his attorneys were absolutely against it. Like, yeah, it was me.
They're trying to tell him, they're like,
Death penalty's on the table. Let's go.
we don't do that around here. Not very demure.
The judge did take into consideration that Creech was protecting himself, but also stated Creech went well beyond defending himself, and the evidence shows an excessive violent rage. Justice Justice O'Connor stated, quote, "The victim, once the attack commenced, was under the complete domination and control of the defendant. The murder itself was extremely gruesome, evidencing an excessive violent rage. With the victim's attack as an excuse, the murderer then took on many aspects of an assassination. These violent actions went well beyond self-defense." That, it was true. He became an assassin.
And they knew that, even given the poor forensics. So for them to not have like a blood spatter analyst, and they're like, oh no,
No.
this was wild.
Ada County Prosecutor Harris and the Sheriff Palmer both sent letters earlier in the year, in February, warning Creech was violent and should be isolated. If the sheriff and the prosecutor maybe says,
Listen.
this guy probably shouldn't be a janitor. Let's probably not.
Get special privileges as janitor.
In 1982, Creech tearfully pleaded for the death penalty to the judge. So in January, he was like, I'm done. Let's just go.
Move it along.
Stating he was unsure if he would kill again. When Judge Newhouse granted him his wish, he was sentenced to death by lethal injection in March. The judge handed down the sentence in a written statement. And this is important. This is going to lead to lots of complications with the courts.
Okay.
In 1983, Creech had to be resentenced. The Supreme Court said that because Creech was not present in the courtroom when the sentence was rendered, the judge will have to resentence him. He was resentenced and his execution date was set for April 29th, but it will automatically be appealed because it's a death case penalty, or because it's a death penalty. In April, Creech was accused of cutting a fellow death row inmate. He's already killed one inmate on site. Never mind the other.
Stop giving them razors and steak knives. That seems like a pretty fair trade-off. Like, no, you don't get access to weapons.
The warden Gardner said he will tighten security on Creech. Okay, no.
What, like someone to follow him around? Like,
What? He's still stabbing people and cutting people in maximum security.
yeah. Old Slicey McGee over here just has a problem.
Creech will be required to take his exercise time outside when no other inmates are around. I think he got fired from his janitor job.
I certainly hope so.
I think he was like, they're like, you're fired.
And that was his passion. He was a sexton. That was his passion.
It was his passion.
I bet that.
I
made him
have
even
previous
angry.
experience. Oh, that little shot. Well,
I used to do this in a church. I sometimes murdered people on the side, but I was great at being a sexton. I really killed it. Literally.
I know all of my cleaners, all of my brushes.
I can get any stain out of any shirt.
Except
Bring
for
it to me.
blood out of the couch.
Well, I just don't bother with that. That's just too much.
Too much work. The assault on this new inmate happened when Creech was in the exercise room for about an hour, when Reeves began cursing at him through the open bars that separate the exercise room from the death row cells. A few minutes later, Creech ran over to Reeves' cell with a razor blade mounted on a toothbrush. Why does he still have razors? Why?
They'll get that extra reach. Have it on a toothbrush, too.
Oh. He reached into the cell and cut Reeves on the shoulder. The warden stated that he had no idea how he had the razor because the inmates are required to give back the razor after shaving. Call him bullshit, Gardner.
We tell them to give it back. They're just supposed to put it in a little basket we have in the office. It's honor system.
Gardner stated Creech was being supervised by 2 guards. No, he was not. Okay, he was, but not well. One was monitoring him on a security screen, and the other was monitoring him in a room only separated by steel bars.
So the guy with the screen probably was taking a nap because there was no TikTok to scroll on. So maybe he was scrolling the newspaper.
I'm thinking that would have been the choice back then.
A good book.
Definitely a newspaper. Probably eating his
Playboy.
lunch.
They got Playboys in there. They're not paying attention to the cameras.
The guard saw the argument began and had already asked for backup before the attack happened. So he was watching, but still, why does he have a razor blade?
He's like, Creech has his damn toothbrush razor out again. I thought we got rid of that, guys.
This was only day 6 for Creech back at the prison since his 20-month stay at the Ada County Jail after the murder
He's
of
done to
Jensen.
set the tone.
It's okay.
Setting the tone.
Guess who's back? Creech was not prosecuted for the attack.
They're like,
he's already on the death penalty.
what are we gonna
Okay.
do?
The Ada County prosecutor, Greg Bauer, said it seemed to be a simple waste of time and taxpayer funds. What?
Well,
But still.
I understand, but people need justice regardless. Like, and if you just say you're not ever going to have to answer to these or talk to people's families, like, especially if you're out still murdering people, you can't just be like, well, he's hit the maximum of life sentences, or he's getting the death penalty anyway. He has 6 death row execution warrants.
So he can just, and we're going to keep giving him razor blades.
You get like, instead of like free lives in a video game, they're like free deaths. You've hit the max, so you're just unlimited killings. It's fine. We don't have time for this anymore.
But Creech has a change of heart by May.
Of what year?
We are in 83.
Okay.
He wants to change his plea, but the Supreme Court upheld the decision. Like, you pled guilty.
An extra chance too.
Your attorneys told you not. You did. It's there. Creech continues his appeal despite the ruling. David Jensen's family filed a $3.85 million wrongful death lawsuit against the prison.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been around him.
Like, if you've got a dog with rabies that attacks everyone, you can't just be like, well, he's having his neighborhood time. He likes to walk around by himself.
In September, Creech slashed his arm about a dozen times with a razor. Again with the razors! He required 62 stitches, but did not cause serious injury. That's a lot of stitches, though.
So he was slicing and dicing, but again, I know this is going to sound callous, but with his previous record of using this to then go to a vacation at a mental health facility, which for him it truly was a vacation. He got to have weekends out to go gallivant around and go to multiple states
And murder and steal.
It's worked before, so he's like, they're really not digging my plea change. Let's try this again. I mean, and maybe that's part of it, but it's like, you have nothing but time in prison. I feel like you would know an effective way to do this by then if that was really your intent.
Especially given the access to sharp objects.
Unlimited. There's just literally...
If he has sharp objects, he probably would have had something else.
They're like, I don't know how he got a pistol in here. We tell them to after they're done with their target practice, we tell them to put the pistol in the basket by the office. That's the rule. Everyone knows that's the rule. We have very strict rules.
Firearm rules. Oh. Gardner said Creech had told the prison staff he was sick and tired of everything and he wanted to go through with the death penalty. Make up your mind. Oh. Creech is still waiting for the final word from the Idaho Supreme Court on whether the execution order will be allowed to stand. The warden also stated that Creech said he wanted to fire his attorney and just did the cutting for attention more or less.
That's not how you fire someone in any... Nowhere are they like, I'm going to fire someone. I'm going to slice myself about it.
I'm going to slice myself.
That's how I'm going to tell them. You're fired.
The staff psychologist did not feel that Creech was suicidal. Ding, ding. Gardner said that he might assign a guard to observe Creech while he's shaving. He might. Maybe.
Maybe someone else shaves for him. Like something. I know you have to have hygiene.
I'm pretty sure there was electric razors.
Yeah, give him one of those.
It's not a clean shave, but it's still
If
a
he has a
shave.
court date, someone else can give him a clean shave. And he has no access. No more honor system razor returns.
I feel like that's what it was. Hey, did you put, are all of them?
They
Yeah,
better be in there, Creech.
They are.
I'm trusting you. You've done this 3 times. I'm giving you another chance. It's not 3 strikes, you're out.
Keeps
But
slashing up fellow inmates, so you better be telling me the truth one more time and I'm going to ground you.
I wouldn't lie to you. Thank goodness.
Later in September, the request to reconsider Creech's execution was rejected by the Idaho Supreme Court in a 4-1 vote.
Oop.
No execution date was set. They still had the issue of Creech wanting to withdraw his guilty plea. I don't understand why this is still an issue.
They've got to give everyone like a million
I know,
chances.
but he had an attorney, and the attorney is on record saying, don't plead guilty. And then he's like, I'm ready to die. Wait, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. Like, it just so much.
Maybe he just has to do the opposite. He's like,
Oh,
don't
like,
plead guilty. I don't like that. That feels weird.
maybe his reverse psychology. Maybe that's what his attorney, absolutely, you should plead guilty to this. And he'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm not.
I feel like that could have saved time because this back and forth is just gumming up the whole process.
We have many, many, many,
Many
years.
more.
Jeez. In January of 1984, the Idaho Supreme Court rejected Creech's appeal. So they're like, no, you pled guilty. By February, the appeal to withdraw his claim was back in front of Judge Newhouse. Creech stated he murdered Jensen in self-defense because Jensen had attacked him. And in typical Creech fashion, he created a wild story. Are you ready? You're
Which
not.
one is it? I feel like we could just have a bingo card of like, is it a sex
Motorcycle
cult? Satanic. What is it?
His story included a drug ring, a mysterious third inmate, which Creech would not identify in open court, and the records were sealed by the judge, and escape. So there's drug ring, a mysterious third inmate, and escape plans.
Okay.
Creech stated he was coerced into entering the guilty plea due to the threats he and his family received, depression, and thinking he had
I don't
no
think
alternative.
anyone cares about his family. Like, prove it. That seems like
No, he's saying that this third inmate was like, if you don't plead guilty to this, then
I'm in
gonna,
a big drug ring.
and I'm gonna murder your family. These outlandish, like, if somebody said this today in court, they'd be laughed.
It was
at.
he was probably what is it called, a key enforcer in the drug ring
Number 8.
of 8.
By the end of the month, Creech was isolated in prison. He attacked another inmate, Albert Beam.
What did Albert do to deserve this?
I just want you to guess what he attacked him with.
Is it another toothbrush with a razor? I'm going to like slap my own self in the face. Hit with a razor blade.
Creech.
The razor blade distribution system is off the chain.
He should definitely be grounded by the guards.
He gets
because
13 new ones every time they take one away.
The trust system's not working out there. Creech enticed him, Albert Beam, into his exercise area and then attacked him with a razor blade.
Wasn't he supposed to never be like around?
Well,
other...
the warden said he might.
Enticed him how? With like a sexy performance of a dance?
Like that one on Schitt's Creek, where he's
Yeah.
what's that one, like Simply the Best?
Yes.
That one. Yeah, that's what he was doing. Oh, that just made me giggle so hard inside.
Albert, you fell for the sexy seduction dance? Dang it. Sorry, Albert. It's serious. You shouldn't have been sliced. They shouldn't have been giving him these razor blades.
Albert Beam, who was also on death row, required 30 stitches. Creech had lured Beam into his exercise area to stage a lack of electrical wiring in part of the death row area. It's like, hey, we don't have enough wires here. You want to come look?
What do we do about this? Like, why would you be concerned about that? What? He is wild.
The lack of wiring prevents some inmates from having televisions in their cells. You're on death row. Dude. You're a murderer.
He's like, we can fix the TV and be heroes.
Both men's exercise areas were next to each other's. Beam entered Creech's area by removing some wire mesh. So he's like, oh, yeah, bro, I'm gonna come check it out.
So they had chicken wire separating people as well. Clearly. It's a maximum security prison. If it keeps
Unsupervised unlimited razor use. So he removed some wire mesh. I just kind of feel like it was more like heavy duty than that.
If you could just remove it, though, like, where's the guy on the cameras?
No shit.
Playboy got to him again.
Beam was cut behind his ear and on both sides of his neck and under his left eye. Oh my God. It wasn't like one long.
And at the face and it's just slicing.
He was trying to. That sounds like attempted murder to me. Wasn't like, I got your thigh. I got your arm.
Play swords? Let's play swords.
Oh my God.
What is this?
It's like, no, I'm going for the neck and the eye. Thank you.
And if you really don't want the death penalty, why would you ever be behaving like this? We can barely get past a year or two with multiple instances of some deaths and many assaults or attempted murders. Like, if you really didn't want to have the death penalty, you would think you'd be like, I gotta stop with the slicing. It's my favorite hobby. I gotta stop with the slicing.
I gotta stop. And
Get some help.
So this makes you just think of poor David Jensen, because if he's trying to coax somebody in a cell to fuck them up, I don't believe any of that shit with Jensen, that he's like, oh, he tried to hit me with this. No, I don't believe one second.
No, you were feeling a need for a slicey dicey.
Yeah, he had a need. Well, we have a new warden, kids.
Thank goodness, because was it Gardner?
Yeah, it was.
Gardner, get out.
We might.
This isn't for you. You're not a good fit.
Okay. This is a hard name for me to say because I have never had so many R's and V's and A's. We have a new warden, kids. Arvon Areve. The warden stated he plans on having the mesh reinforced.
Thank you. I mean, with something with like a popsicle stick or something. Maybe some super glues on there.
Some string. We just tied that shit back together.
We put some zip ties on it. We got extra strength duct tape. They are not getting through that.
And except for the razor blades.
Razor blades are no match for this duct tape.
After the attack, the weapon wasn't found. Creech admitted to flushing it down the toilet. He knows exactly what he's
very experienced.
Where are the cameras? Judge Newhouse set a new date for Creech's execution. Creech was ordered to die on May 24th by a firing squad. Idaho Supreme Court delays the execution. No, not nice. Delays the execution again before the end of the month. In August, we're getting married. Creech is now engaged.
Who is entertaining this man?
Lucy Hill.
Lucy.
And they
go home.
They plan to marry in October. They're making plans. This is not a shotgun wedding. Ladies and gentlemen, they are going to do it appropriately.
It's a big event. Everyone in the jail is invited. Anyone out of the jail is invited. You just got to go through this little door that's meshed with duct tape and you can come. Bring your razor blades. There's a bouquet of razor blades being tossed.
Everybody gets them. Lucy Hill had been visiting Creech as a spiritual advisor.
Weird.
Once they applied to be married, the warden, Areve, stated, due to the relationship change to fiancé, it made her ineligible for visits under state law. If you go from spiritual advisor to fiancé, you're burnt.
read the fine print. You should have
really
known
felt
this.
like-
You have plenty of time.
I felt
to
like
know
they,
this,
if they
like-
were smart, they would have just lied about it. Because they
Or at least up until the last moment, and then you're like, boom, we're married. We
Mm.
switch over, and now I'm family. Because if you're married, your wife can come, right?
right.
So don't tell anyone.
But you know, if they're so spiritual, they probably could have found some spiritual way to be married.
And just say that you're married.
Well, no, but just be a spiritual advisor. And then she could have went and seen him.
Mess that up.
Once they applied to be married, the relationship had changed. Boom, you're done. No more visitation. It made her ineligible. He stated that he will not allow Creech to marry. The warden's like, no. I'm putting my foot down. I'm saying no.
We're not running a wedding venue around here.
It's not a dating
We're
site.
running a place where everyone gets a razor, and if you cut someone, whoopsie.
This
This
is
is not a wedding venue, though.
no Tinder.
I've got to draw the line somewhere.
Oh. Under Idaho state law, condemned murderers can only be visited by family members, attorneys, doctors, and spiritual advisors. Why did Lucy Hill go to school to become an attorney?
Done. Yeah, go to law school. Easy.
In October, a settlement was reached in the wrongful death suit for David Jensen.
Ooh.
I don't know what the settlement
They
was.
didn't disclose, I'm sure.
No, but
But
they'd be
if a
kicking down
settlement
some
was
cash,
reached-
and they should, because this guy should not have been.
well, and just
Damn it.
showing that he's still getting away with it. It's like, just for the reputation of the prison and law enforcement, like,
And he's
maybe
killing.
it's time to actually do something. Like,
I would have loved to have been an attorney with that wrongful.
oh my gosh.
Do you know he just sliced up another
Just
inmate?
this morning.
And then there's another one. Yeah.
Something about duct taped mesh. Weird.
Lucy was like, "This isn't working for me. I'm out. Can't see ya. I'm out." But in 1985, Creech is in love again.
Do they have like a dating show at this time that's like, look at your eligible inmates? I mean, they have them on TikTok now.
They do.
I get ones from the Ada County where I'm like, who?
Oh, look at you,
Who
special
are you
bitch. You know what
paying?
shows up on my FYP? The state pen.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, my name is Raymond. Just looking to chat and have a good time and write me letters. I've got a lot of tattoos and I'm looking for a bad girl. I'm like, stop it, Raymond. Go and read a book. Go to the prison library immediately. Get off TikTok.
Well, there's somebody on the outside recording these and uploading.
Yes, and they're probably paying them because first of all, you already have to pay for the phone call, the video call. JPay.
That might be a good side gig.
Oh, I bet they are making money because they want to be on TikTok.
Mom, will you send this lady some money so that she will take a recording of me and post it on TikTok? So
We don't have Tinder here, Mom. What am I supposed to do? You know how hard it is to keister a cell phone? This is my chance.
So Creech planned on getting married by proxy. Ask me.
What in the world? How can you get married by proxy? This sounds like magical.
So by proxy means that you have signed over your rights for somebody can make decisions for you.
Okay.
So a simple way to put it, like my HOA, if I had to be out of town and go on this awesome vacation, I don't want this president, I want a new president, but hey neighbor, I'm going to sign this paper and it's a by proxy vote. So you're going to go vote in place of me, of my person.
Okay.
The correction coordinator stated by proxy marriages are not legal and he would not entertain the new bride's request to visit.
Because you're like cosplaying someone like, hello, I am Dani. I am getting married to my beloved.
Let's go. Betty Creel went to the prison claiming she was Creech's wife and wanted to visit him. Creel was rejected her visit. Keene Creech's public defender, had filed a petition against the prison. Keene said the two were married in Emmett by proxy on April 23rd.
Betty, get out of here.
Creech gave limited power of attorney to Ronald Creech to represent him in the marriage.
Not Ronald. He's back.
Ronald.
What a helpful brother.
Creech said he was unable to attend his wedding because he was currently incarcerated.
FYI, I would love to be there.
I'm detained. Ronald Creech, his brother, walked into the Jim County courthouse and stated he was Thomas Creech. He had that piece of paper. The two were married in front of the Jim State Magistrate. The magistrate wrote in an affidavit that at no time did either participant state that this was a by proxy marriage, and the nuptial kiss certainly did not appear to be by proxy.
So it was like a lot of tongue.
I bet you there was.
And if this is just identity fraud as well. If you're just pretending to be someone and not being like, I'm their representative, that's identity fraud.
He was like, yeah, they're making out.
Did he? And I want to know what was behind that. Was he like, I better make it look real because I have to behave as my brother would? Or is he like, I'm getting to get all touchy-feely. This is great.
Yeah. How about our honeymoon night?
Yeah. By proxy.
Let's go.
I'm him. He's me.
Got the paper. State law prohibits prisoners sentenced to life in prison or death from entering into legal contracts, including marriage.
Can't do it.
Creel met Creech after reading he was depressed. She wrote to him stating it was her Christian duty. They've had phone calls and letters and even seen each other at court hearings.
Duty.
Creel moved to Boise from Denver to be closer to Creech. In arguments, the Attorney General, Tim McNeese, said that even if by proxy marriage is found to be legal, the marriage is null and void because Ronald Creech did not disclose he was not Thomas Creech. So you can't be like, oh yeah, this is me. Like, if you're going to do by proxy, you're like, I got a thing. And
yeah, I'm a representative. But he was like, no, this is my chance to stick my tongue down someone's throat.
But Ronald did not disclose who he was from the advice of Creech's attorney, Keene. So just keep your mouth
Keene
shut.
is like, just, you are
He's
him.
kind of...
You can't just be somebody. You can speak on behalf or
Don't say
act
nothing.
on behalf.
Just don't say nothing.
You are him.
I'm kind of worried about this attorney.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
In June, Creech asked to be executed again. I can't be married. I must die like this guy.
Then stop appealing all this. Like,
But that wasn't the real... I don't think that was the reason. Like, it wasn't a mood swing.
okay.
His by proxy wife
No.
had left town with his younger brother, Ron.
They had a connection, a physical, extended, apparently, connection in front of a judge. That sounds like was super awkward.
I wonder if his attorney was like, make sure you give her the tongue.
This could work out great for you. Honestly, you've been single for a while, and I mean, you look enough alike. She might just accept
Make
you
it
as
look real.
You're a stand-in.
I bet you he did. He's like, I bet you he did. Make it look real. Don't, no peck on the cheek. Make it look
Give
real.
her a smack on the ass too.
My
My
God, I wish I had video of that.
Ronald and Betty ran off into the sunset. One happy ending.
But after a few days went by, Creech's mother said Creech had regained his will to live after a weekend of praying. He had wrote a letter to the Chief Justice on Monday to halt all of his appeals and set an execution date. And by Saturday, he had taken a pen to paper and said, "No, JK,
Psych. I was.
please
I had a
disregard my
moment.
current. Please disregard my most current correspondence." Yeah. I know you wrote in those emails that, like, oh,
Yeah, like.
oh,
Can I recall? No, can't recall. Too late. No, too late.
2 weeks later, the Idaho Supreme Court decided in a 4-1 vote to not allow the withdrawal of the guilty plea in the murder of Jensen.
It seems like he almost always has one that's like, no, we'll allow it.
Guy is just constantly in court on the taxpayer dime, too, mind you.
I bet that's who he's getting the razor blades from. He's got a connection.
Maybe
The conspiracy runs really deep on this.
the ruling will make way for another execution date. In 1986, Creech had a date with a firing squad.
A date, but not the time that he was.
No date and time, just a date. He was ordered to be executed on February 3rd, 1986. Keene stated he would appeal under the validity of the death penalty and will ask for a stay of execution. Here we go. And just in case you're keeping count, this is the 4th execution date that he's had.
4 times. And just for those of you out there here in Taterland, aka Idaho, the firing squad, wasn't it just approved to also be a means of execution?
Yeah, they got rid of the firing squad because they were doing all of the lethal injections. But the Koberger case up in northern Idaho, as soon as that all happened,
They're like, we gotta
it
get
was
this
like
on the books.
voted in within like months after those murders happened. They're like, oh, we need a backup.
It's crazy. That's the state we live in. They're like, we gotta bring something back. If we can't have our electric chair, we can't have a hanging, can we at least get a firing squad?
Just in case.
So strange that could literally happen.
It did
in our
happen so
lifetime.
fast, and I wish that I had like the dates to tell you how fast it happened, but it was
Well, I mean, the Koberger case only started just in the last few years. So
right. But I mean, they're like, "Yep, let's shoot people now. Let's go." Well, and you know what? And I am unsure. Actually, I have multiple feelings about the death penalty.
So do I.
But the lethal injection has created such a controversy and getting it. And so I think the firing squad is an alternative that there's no squabbles about.
I can't see why there isn't any squabbles, because even if I was a law enforcement officer, me personally, I would never be a law enforcement officer regardless. But if I was, and they're like, oh yeah, on Tuesday though, you're one of 10 that's going to just blast someone into oblivion. I don't know how it works. What are the...
I read that they had hundreds of people write in to volunteer to do it.
And that's creepy. And why would you allow... Because that's basically someone with a weird fetish being like, I've always wanted to shoot a man. Here's my chance to do it. This feels very like Roman, like go into the thing
Vigilante
with the tiger.
justice kind of thing.
Like,
But I surely would never want to shoot somebody, even if it was somebody that had murdered somebody close. That's not my jam. Would not want to do it. But I do think that there are people out there that are like, this needs to be... I don't think they're necessarily whack jobs, actually. I think that they... You know, I kind of think like back in the good old, like somebody rapes somebody, they round up a posse and they're going to go take care of it. So I kind of feel like it's a little like vigilante, just like they're doing their thing.
maybe that's
to
the intent.
participate. I don't think that they will let people volunteer.
I hope they don't, because that's strange. It's like, what are you doing on Sunday? Well, I'm going to the Monster Jam truck rally. Oh, I wanted to go to that so bad, bro, but I actually have a firing squad assignment. Like, I gotta shoot a dude.
I
to
gotta
death.
go. I gotta go.
It's very important. There's gonna be an audience. I'm hoping I have a good aim.
It is
It
weird.
doesn't compute for me. Please, no volunteers. I mean, it's bad enough making... Was that in the job description when these officers were like, if this goes through, you maybe have to like shoot
But I
someone
think
to
that
death?
people still volunteer. I
Oh,
think
I'm
it's
sure.
a voluntary basis to even do the lethal injection stuff.
All of it's weird to me.
I wish now I want to know more, and I don't. And can I just tell you, this vodka is for us.
Mine is very spicy too.
Spicy. I got a little carried away with the pour. It is very hard to drink.
And just so you guys know, we recorded this part already. This was finished last night. But then we realized that we were not recording on the mics at all. We had done something messed up, and it was only recording on the camera audio, which isn't awful, but especially if you're listening on like ear pods or anything, it just isn't pleasant to listen. It's very tinny and it's almost hurty. So we were like,
So we're doing round 2.
so it's round 2 for us. And this round 2 is like round 7. Like, good God.
Cheers, sister.
Vodka. Dingo, dingo.
It's been brutes. One more sip of this harsh cocktail.
I'm going to do it with you because you need support.
Ooh. Thank you. Oh my God, I need the ice to melt. Okay.
Please melt.
Please. So Warden Arabe scheduled an execution drill. 6 days before the execution date, an Idaho Supreme Court denied the stay for Creech. They're like, nope, get him out of here, we're done. Keene, Creech's attorney, filed with the U.S. District Court to review the appeal and stated he's ready to take it to the Supreme Court. Creech had ordered his last meal, consisting of a small deluxe pizza, 2 double hamburgers, and cake and ice cream. He was only allowed to order from what was available at the prison.
We're not catering this in, so you get what you get.
I kind of feel like they should get what they want.
I think so too. I mean,
What if it, like, within reason, like, put a budget on it, like,
yeah, it can't be from like the Salt Bay restaurant. They're like, fly it in from Europe
Right.
or wherever.
But I do feel like within reason, like,
yeah,
he's been
a
at
restaurant
ship food-
around here.
It's
Sure.
one time. Give him $150 voucher. Yeah. Maybe he just
We've already paid for how many years of meals?
Right. Millions.
What is this? What
Millions.
percent of his stay is this? Like, just do it. Give him a
give him the
give him a
KFC.
good meal.
Give him the steak. Creech was given his execution procedures to read. He would be allowed to choose between his institutional coveralls or general institutional blue shirt and Levi's.
Pick your outfit. Okay.
So, I mean, some choices. Creech chose the latter. And I would have to, I'm like, no, I'm going to go out in Levi's.
Yeah.
Don't put me in a jumper. 61 hours before the execution date, U.S. District Judge Harold Ryan granted a stay. Of course. In June, that judge denies Creech's motion for a new trial. He ordered a stay, but you're
You
not
don't
getting
get
a new
trial
trial
out of it. Okay.
Judge Newhouse set another date of execution for July 29th. Creech's attorney already filed the notice of appeal to the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals.
They've just got copies that need to be filled out
nope,
of like
let's do
this
it.
execution date we're appealing.
A stay was once again granted. In 1987, September of 87, Creech once again asked to be executed and then changed his mind the very next day. This is a...
Stop asking for it.
So
then.
this was 87. I'm just curious to see when he quits asking back and forth. In 1989, Creech is in love again and asks to get married.
Very eligible bachelor somehow.
The request is denied. His bride-to-be will not give up. Cheryl Lynn Miller traveled 2,000 miles.
She's come all this way, guys.
She's a class act. Gave custody of her 2 children up and is working 2 jobs just to get married to Creech.
To an inmate on death row that you cannot even visit. Gave up custody of your children. This is your... If you didn't like your kids, this is your escape plan?
I
There's
don't want to be a mother. I'm going to go and marry...
I'd rather marry an inmate that I can never see and never even marry and work 2... Your work... That's loser vibe. I have to work 2 jobs to see my inmate boyfriend.
and put money on his books.
You're working that hard as a woman in this age. Stop it. Cheryl, stop that immediately.
Shut the fuck up. They became pen pals in 1986.
Oh.
after her mother, Cheryl's mother, a spiritual advisor, told her about an inmate she had visited in Idaho.
Why does he have so many spiritual advisors? And mom, listen up, mom. Were you trying to get the kids? Why were you like, there's a boy who I think would fancy you, Cheryl. Shut up, mom. Oh, this is spiraling quickly.
Creech and Miller sued the state in a civil lawsuit.
Civil.
Miller was allowed to attend the hearing under tight security. She had to be strip searched before being allowed in the courtroom. Authorities are highly concerned about an escape plan. In letters written to Creech by his fiancée, their fiancés,
Which all get read, people.
she stated that she would do anything to help him get out of jail, which authorities said is the exact reason they don't want Creech to get married and have visitation.
Yeah, a partner to plot crimes with, maybe not the best direction right now.
But really, that's so vague. So vague.
There was no plans.
To be submitted to a strip search for court, to be a bystander.
Yeah, not good.
Little
This is a
aggro.
woman working 2 jobs. Give her a break. I'm not saying really give her a break, but I would. That's a little excessive.
It's much.
But with the ease in which he's gotten things, I mean, maybe
Well-
she had a machete in her back pocket and was just gonna toss it to him, and they're like, "Oh, what was that? That was clearly a toy, like a gift." Yeah, of course he's gonna take it back to his cell. It's a machete.
Oh, the razors. February of 1990, Creech's request was denied.
Oh,
In December, there was a court hearing for a judge to decide whether Creech could marry or not. They dragged this on. In
gumming it up.
February of 1991, Judge Michael Dennard upheld the previous year's decision. In March, a federal appeals court overturned Creech's death sentence. It stated Idaho's death penalty law was unconstitutionally vague. The portion of the wording that was under question was that a murder was considered a capital crime if the murderer exhibited utter disregard for human life. That language was unclear to what that meant. In April of 1992, Creech and Miller were married via telephone. In November, the state asked the Superior Court to reinstate the death penalty to Creech. I mean, he's just been in and out. In March of 1993, a Supreme Court ruling upheld the Idaho's capital punishment law. They said the phrasing was not vague. This is years and years of red tape and dragging.
Overwork a sentence, which
And
is
that's
how it goes.
And I'm just gonna kind of keep going through these years. I think it's important to know
Just give a timeline of
the
how many
fight and the
things.
time.
Yeah.
In 1995, at his death sentence hearing, Creech was allowed to play a recording of him playing his guitar and singing. They let him play it for he played a 30-minute serenade in court.
And listen, y'all, this isn't even necessary because he was interviewed. I don't know if it's before or after this, but this seems like a party trick of his. There's a long on our local news station, KTVB, of him, a full bio and playing the guitar, and it's very creepy.
I could not help but send that to you when I found it.
I had to watch it.
You have to watch
and
this.
It's a tough watch. It's a struggle to get through. So the fact that he was able to do this in a courtroom for 30 minutes, where's Judge Judy?
She'd be like,
2 chords in.
No, not listening.
No, anyway.
Let's get little fun fact. And I really researched this and tried to find it during this period of court at the death sentence hearing. The prosecuting attorney mentioned that Creech's brothers were also convicted of homicide. Dude, I
That
wanted to
is so
find it so
strange.
bad, and I could not find it.
So
I
this
wonder if it
is
was Ronald.
wait, where's Betty? Betty, Betty. Damn it, Betty.
I was so frustrated. I wanted to find. I spent so much
And I'm
time.
sure all of the headlines are so overtaken by his stuff. I mean, how many times was he in the news over this 50
Well,
years?
and I did locate something that could have been a possibility, but I wasn't for sure.
And so
if it
they
was
said
him.
this in court. Like,
Yeah.
you would think there would have to be, we need access to the jail records.
Well, this is also probably like a closing statement or something where you
Like,
don't
they're
really have
all
to show
doing
evidence. You can just say it. In April of that year, 1995, he was again sentenced to death. Lost track. Think we're at number
I think we're out of
5.
fingers, maybe. I don't know.
February 7th, 1997, the execution order was issued, but immediately stayed due to more appeals. In 1998, another execution date is set for November 19th after a Supreme Court rejection of the appeal in October. The execution was blocked 6 days before the execution date by Sandra Day O'Connor indefinitely.
How does that work? Say, you just say, I say forever on this one. You wave your wand.
And it really is forever. I mean, I appreciate me some Sandra Day O'Connor, but how can you just be like, indefinitely, we're just going to not hear this?
Maybe she was just tired of it coming back and forth and she's like,
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, why are we still fighting this battle?
Over it. But also in 1998, Creech got married to a woman named Leanne, who was a son of a correctional officer at the Idaho State Prison.
A daughter of a correctional officer?
Oh, a mother. He married a woman named Leanne. Her son was a correctional officer.
Ew.
Tender.
So is her son like, she's like, son, who's the most eligible bachelor?
I got a guy for you, Mom.
He's wonderful. So sweet, caring, has an affinity for razors. If you could bring him just 2 of those, if you could get those in, Mom, he'll be yours forever. Weird. What the hell?
It's so weird.
This is getting crazier.
In 1999, the Supreme Court rejects Creech's appeal. So, or 4 years later, he's just been.
So does this get rid of Miss O'Connor's indefinite forever curse?
No. 1999, the Supreme Court rejects Creech's appeal. An execution date was set for June 24th. And June 16th, a federal judge stays his execution. 2002, the appeal is rejected by the Idaho Supreme Court. Now there's nothing. Nothing. In 2023,
Goodness.
Idaho brought back the firing squad. In October, Creech was issued a death warrant. Creech has a hearing asking for clemency. Creech has had 11 execution dates in total.
We ran out of fingers.
Official.
We had to go to the pinky toe for this one.
I was just going to say, oh my God. At his clemency hearing in 2024, 7 former IDOC workers, Idaho Department of Correction workers, signed support letters for Creech. His wife of 25 years, Leanne.
She's stuck. Okay, Leanne.
She's stuck. Also asked for clemency. Creech has been confirmed to have killed 11 people in 7 different states.
Mr. Nationwide.
In January, the state parole board denied his plea for a reduced sentence. On February 28th, 2024, Creech's execution was set to take place. His last meal consisted of fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy, and ice cream, and he spent time with his wife. The scheduled execution took place at 10 a.m. By 10:58, the execution was halted. After 8 failed attempts to insert an IV line, they gave up. They were attempted in his legs, his arms, hands, feet. They were able to find some veins, but were worried about the quality of the veins. So they just called it off.
Because at a certain point, you can't stick someone for 3 hours. And, I mean, this is in front of an audience.
Well, Creech does have diabetes, which could call for
Yeah.
And, I was during this research, I'm like, he is an old man. So he's 74.
74 now.
I don't think he should be let out. But I think my thought process at the time was like, to actually be drug in and sit there for an hour while they're trying to kill you.
In front of an audience of people. Like, I mean, obviously he does the terrible things he's done to people that were so innocent and seemingly often for no reason.
You could not
You
find
don't
a
have to
reason
kill
for...
you don't have to kill a young girl to rob a Circle K.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to kill your inmate friend through the, paper mache mesh. Leave him alone.
You don't have to kill Paul Schrader while he's on vacation.
Or people that are helping you,
Yeah,
tucking them in a freaking ditch.
right. Oh, you need a ride? Bro, gotcha. Oh, never mind. I'm going to kill
Get
you.
your ride straight into the ditch, but you can have our sleeping bags, though. We don't want you to get cold.
So there was some point during this research that I was like, just let him he's obviously sick with diabetes and he's been there forever. Just let him die of natural causes. But then he had to do an interview.
Tell me about this interview, please. Did he play the guitar, first off? Was he like, first off, here is a 75-minute original song that I wrote. Please air all of this, or you cannot air anything else on my interview. Thank you.
It was really just a lot of, first of all, there is no hanging out with him like it was back in the day, right? So I believe that they had some photography of his cell, but I believe it was done over the phone. Then I had a total change of heart when the reporter, and this was on, I'm not for sure where I saw it. Eek. Sorry. The reporter had asked him how he felt going into his execution. And he said, it was the worst feeling anybody could ever feel.
Anybody?
How about Mr. William Dean that you shot on the frickin' couch? How about Sandra you shot at the Circle K? What about
The
Paul
worst feeling.
Schrader that you stabbed him and slit his throat while on vacation with his wife? What about the union guy, Vivian Grant Robinson, that you were on your vacation from your mental hospital? And all of the other people. And I'm thinking, going into a controlled situation where you've got a chance to say goodbye and have your peace
And eat your meal.
and have your last meal, get a little ice cream. Maybe Grant
The
Robinson
worst
had
feeling.
ramen for dinner,
It was
and-
like, I should have made my steak.
and then he got fucking fuck you, Creech. It made me so mad, and then I changed my mind.
Yeah, Creech
Because he
rot.
has what I am not seeing is any remorse or sympathy from
Or
this.
even just a realistic look of,
I did this.
why did I shoot that girl in the Circle K? Like, I could have just taken the money.
It's all about me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about my feelings. It was horrible.
I've only asked for this 17 times and then changed my mind and then continued to do things that would give me the death penalty even more. My actions continued to be something that could result in this as I was asking for it to not happen and then asking for it to happen. No, go.
I was feeling sorry for him. Like, I wasn't, not sorry, but I was like, just let
Because
it
we
go.
have empathy. He does not.
Right. I
We're
was
like, gosh, that would
just,
suck to be like being poked and prodded in front of a
and knowing that you're
audience.
going to die and you're just like, can you just hurry up? Like, I'm here, let's go. But no, he's like, it was the worst feeling ever.
Oh, oh.
Don't feel bad for him at all. I feel bad for his victims.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that we have spent millions and millions and millions of dollars housing a person that has
I
no
want to see the
remorse.
cost analysis as well. I wish we had that.
Maybe I'll do that on the next one.
I think we need, because really, how much longer is he going to live? How much did this recent attempt of execution
These drugs
cost?
are hella expensive.
Because no one will sell them
no, they have to
anymore.
get them on the download. Do you know Idaho has a law?
They're like, we can go on the black market for drugs sometimes. You
They
guys
really
cannot.
do. They have a law, and I wish I had it written down. There is a law that they don't even have to disclose how much it is or where they're getting it from.
So what if I got it from Jimmy on the corner?
Who's
And
the
he-
guy in who's the guy that roofied everybody?
On Hangover?
Yeah.
On Accident?
Yeah. What was his name?
The curly-headed fuck.
No, but he referred to the drug dealer as a name. Black Doug.
In
Remember,
an
'cause they-
official court document, they're like, materials obtained from Black Doug, street name Black Doug, did not disclose actual name, not actually black. If it threw something like that in there, you're like,
He's
Black
like-
Doug has execution drugs?
But he says somewhere, I was thinking it says in the movie, like down at the liquor store or down at the corner store. Anyway,
Yeah, I met him at the liquor store, and he was like, I got that, fam.
I wasn't expecting Black Doug, but then thinking about how it went down. Remember, they're like, this is the wrong
Yeah,
Doug.
Black Doug.
So, anyways, Creech's death warrant has expired. Ani's just sitting there. I don't imagine this is going to go anywhere.
I don't think it is either. I think everyone's just like, we just bide our time. It's going to happen. Maybe if he
I
ends
just
up being
think he's
like
gonna die of natural
a
causes.
centenarian or whatever they're called, he's like, I'm 111. I would be upset.
Well, he does have, frankly, probably really good health care. And he's getting 3 meals a day. And his skin is
At
probably...
this point, I wonder if he's going to encourage just to get another meal, because he's like, you can't find a vein. I get a nice chicken dinner.
Somebody, I had read somewhere that death row inmates will sometimes not drink water, so they will become dehydrated, which shrinks their veins.
Oh, I bet.
And I heard that could have been that situation. But he's 70 foot.
With diabetes. So it's like, the veins are already tough.
And then I've had people, when I tell, we discuss like,
Maybe they IV him next time. Maybe a nurse spends time and...
no, he was mapped. They mapped his veins.
Wowie.
Yeah, they mapped his veins. Yeah,
Interesting.
they were they were mapped. And so, but I've had people say, why didn't they just, that they were in? It's like, if it's a botched execution,
Well, and you don't want to be to the point where it's cruel and unusual, because
Right.
then if your goal is to be able to execute more, like that's your prerogative, then you can't be effing things up like this, because then they'll be like, cite this specific case. How ridiculous was that? Like, you can never. And so then they know that everything in law has a repercussion. It could be 20 years down the line.
oh, absolutely.
So
And what if they had gotten like half of the injection in him and
Yeah,
then
what happens
had a
then?
blowout? It would have been a nightmare.
do they not die?
Right? Who knows?
Are they just damaged in some way and now you have disability of a botched execution
So
attempt?
that's why they're very, very careful about it. So
All things that you don't really think about. But gosh, this case, I cannot believe how back and forth. Like, this is 50 years. You did so good on research on
thank
this.
you.
This is ridiculous.
It's a lot of back and forth, and I did include all the case stuff because I just felt like it's important. Like, this is just dragging and dragging. But he's a weird dude.
Well, he went through the worst thing anyone else could ever experience, Dani, so
Ever go through.
give him some grace here.
How exciting, Steph. I feel good. I'm so excited to finish this.
Yes. Thank you for coming to our first episode.
So thank you for listening, and like, subscribe, share.
Ask us questions. If you have any questions, ask us. We are happy to answer.
And what is our email, Steph? You can write to us.
thelethalibrary@gmail.com.
That's it.
Bye,
But
guys.
we will soon have our social up, and Steph will share all that stuff.
Yeah. Visit us on socials. We love to hang out with you. Thank you for coming and listening to us.
Bye, guys.
Tan 4 rubber ducky. One on the books.
Fuck yeah.